Hey everyone, Class Clown here. Today we're going to be looking at the Jokerbot Build-A-Figure. This is a Target exclusive that they're not really selling anymore, which really stinks for me because I won't be able to get the other figures in the wave. Sadly, I did not see the cheaper Jokerbot that came with the card, so not going to be doing any cards with this figure. Makes me sad, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Anyway, let's get down to some of the figure's details, and this guy's just big, so I'm going to take off these wings. Just give me a second here. Alright, now that we have the wings out of the way, let's just look at some of the details. Alright, so first off, you look at this figure and you're probably wondering, what's with the big things on the top of his head? Well, turn his head around and it's Batman. Funnily enough, a year before they released this figure, I was thinking about like cool Build-A-Figures they could release. And this was actually one of the ones I was thinking of. And I was thinking of like, the Harley Quinn and some of the other characters from that series, what was it, like Bane maybe, just a few figures from the comics, and making that, well, instead they kind of released, the other ones, but no complaints about that. I kind of feel like some of the other more interesting characters were kind of skipped over, but anyway, enough about me jabbering. Yeah, it's a pretty cool figure. That's what he looks like, without one being one-headed or the other. He's two-faced, you could say, or two-headed. Alright, before we go and start the review, I'm just going to have him without his wings. I'm going to do a size comparison with some of the other characters. This is my Rebirth Joker. Hold up, get his foot straight so he can stand. One thing I don't like about this Joker, he doesn't stand. Not the Jokerbot, but this regular one. Unless you kind of like prop him up against something or whatnot. Then here's my favorite McFarlane figure that they've released so far. Dun dun dun! Joker Titan. Which he doesn't even fit in the frame. Or almost doesn't fit in the frame. So yeah. This is not including the wings, because the wings don't really, they're not his main height factor. I think that just, like, the body's height is about just as tall as he's going to be. So, not counting the wings in this, in this height comparison. Now with that out of the way, we can move on to some other details that he has. I really like this figure because it has a lot of like little stuff like this. Like, let's look at that gun, all the mechanical parts on it. They didn't even have to do that, but they did it anyway. That's one of the main reasons why I love McFarlane, is because they put in the extra details and sell it for a cheap price. Here is the bat symbol with the Brother Eye logo in it. Here's some like green tubes. He also has some on the back with this like spiky spine thing. He also got some like, let me just move his arms here. He also has like these little, cords and stuff on his legs. He also has this little like thing right here that can fit into the cutout circle. And let's go over the wings a little bit. I'm just gonna do one wing. This one right here kind of reminds me of a Velociraptor toe for some reason. Like in the scene in the first Jurassic Park where he takes the raptor toe and he's like, they could, cut you right open. It's like a knife or whatever. I'm sorry, I haven't watched that movie in so long. I forgot what he said, but they're pretty cool. They don't have as much detail as the body, go figure, but They look pretty cool. I think the wings aren't actually meant for flying, so if you're thinking that the wings are like, oh yeah, flight position, yeah. Unless you really, really want to, you know. You could put this in a flight position if you wanted to, I guess. But that's really not for me. He also has this one arm that looks like a Batman claw, I guess. I really like this figure. It's a very good one. I would also like to mention that for some reason his kneecap looks like the Batman Who Laughs. I feel like this guy would have been a better character if, if he would have just been like a, you know, I'm from the dark multiverse, and not, you know, let's fuse these two guys together and send them back in time and murder this person or whatever, like the Terminator. Instead, I would have felt if it was, I would have felt that it would have been cooler if they had, like, you know, on his world, Batman nearly gets killed. He needs someone else to, you know, keep him alive or something. Or him and Joker get in a terrible fight, you know. Joker has the components that Batman needs to live, and Batman has the components that need, you know, for Joker to live. And, you know, Batman chooses to have Joker on his head so Joker can't, he'll basically never be out of his sight. And then maybe, you know, Joker starts thinking about the same stuff that Batman does, and then they just, you know, they just kind of team up together, I guess, and patrol Gotham City. Maybe this is full of, like, rubber bullets or tear gas or something, I don't know. But the Batarang Gatling gun? That'd be cool. But anyway, I felt that would have been cooler than, you know, character that lasts for like a few minutes, and it's like, okay, well, that never happened in the future, so he's never going to exist now. You know, just, I kind of feel like that would be a better story than kind of what they did. Because anyone who's read Futures In, if I can remember correctly, doesn't like it too much. So anyway, let's go over his wing articulation first. He I'm sorry, let me actually rip off your wing here, sir. He's wingless. So the wing can move up like that, like that. It's about as much articulation for the wing right there. It can also like bend back and forth like this, and when you put it on him, too, it actually has like a swivel. Oh, sorry, wait. Maybe don't pop off this time. It has like a swivel, kinda. And also move it up and down and backward, frontward, downward, etc. Like I said earlier. And we're back. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but it's all been worked out, I think, hopefully. Let's go over this character's articulation. So it's kind of weird because it's almost like each face has its own articulation. Like, for example, he has this big chin, so his chin kind of blocks a little bit of articulation in the head, unless you're on the Joker side. So his articulation going upwards is pretty good. This is like his usual position. You can go almost all the way down. Batman's, he can barely go up too much. And almost it's just like he's looking straight. And then his down is just cheese. And then, of course, there's this. Anyway, he can't do a T-pose. I don't even know what to call this. Like, umbrella pose. Umbrella. It's mainly because of the shoulder pads. Stuff like that. It can go all the way around. And it can swivel, but the shoulder pad kind of blocks it from going all the way around. This is a single jointed elbow. It's also a gun, so there's just about no other articulation there that I can see. Yeah, no other articulation. Then they have this back hand claw, which just looks awesome. Hope they actually use his hand for other figures. It's a double jointed elbow, which means he can just about reach his head, so he can be like, I can't believe I'm stuck with this guy. Or, you know, grabbing someone and choking them, like, for example, you just get the guy himself. He could be choking the Joker. If I can just sneakily get my hand down here. Take a screenshot if you want to, or actually, let me just, better yet, let me set this up. This is interesting for me. I actually have it grabbed by the back of the neck. Be like, oh, never mind. You get the picture. You get the picture. But you can just have about anything fire from this gun if you really wanted to. It could be like a flamethrower or kryptonite shooter or just about anything, which makes it cool. Anyway, he has some waist articulation. You can go all, or not waist articulation, this upward, I don't even know what to call it, upward articulation. You can go about all the way around. His legs, you have to really force it, but yes, they can, well, his leg fell off, so. Figure kind of falls apart sometimes. Not like Bane, though, Lord have mercy. Thank goodness for that. I would hate if this figure's just like, oh, my head flopped off, you know, just because I moved it slightly. Anyway, his leg can go about this high. So, you can do about a good side kick. Those are going to be good. A good side kick. Robin, yeah, side kick. Anyway. Be like. His knee is also double jointed, so both knees, sorry. Scratch his butt with it. And then he can move his foot, but for some reason the foot for me is like the hardest thing to move. Has, you know, that. And you can move up and down. Has toe articulation. I like to call it sometimes. It's some articulation. And with that, I'm going to close up this review with, you know, me saying I like the figure, and then me showing a bunch of images of what I've done with him, done with the figure in my display. Just gonna put on his wings real quick. And now we have 19 subscribers, so once we get 20, I am going to do something special for y'all. So, yay! Special, sparkle, sparkle. You know. I wish I could have done the rest of the way for y'all, but sadly that was not the case. Instead of buying the Jokerbot like I should have, instead I bought Mr. Hammer. So, that's going to conclude this review. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This is Clown saying that not all the weirdest figures like this are bad ones. They're just figures that Todd likes to make. You know. Well, I know a lot of people complained about this one because of the lack of paint, but I actually like the paint on it. It suits me just fine. So, you know. Don't complain on what you have. Just be glad you have it. Alright. Well, I can't really get him to stand, so. Bye, guys.